Welcome to Inside Builder channel. The executive's new edge. AI enabled IDEs is your new business command center. I asked to Windsurf, how many business use cases can you automate? It gave me 50 different use cases. So Windsurf is one of the IDEs that had started making a splash in the IDE landscape recently, and I thought, okay, let me give it a test run. I'd been testing it for a couple of days right now, and suddenly I thought, okay, let me ask this quintessential question: that how many business use cases it can help with. It went ahead and gave me a list of 50 business tasks that no tech and non-coding executives can do. It can automate these business tasks. No tech, non-coding executives doing tasks it can automate. And I asked it to create a pitch for the executives and senior executives. I'll be showing you these in this video or in the next video, depending on the time. I requested it to create a mind map of all the 50 tasks and review it one by one. And finally, I requested it to create a dashboard of sales data on Markdown. And it did all of this. I was actually surprised. One of the major thing that I find that it will be better that I show you what it had created. This is a Markdown format file, and I requested it to create the graphs and using something called as chart.js. It's one of the libraries, JavaScript libraries that can render charts on the Markdown itself. And you can see that it has done a wonderful job. And not just that. I wanted this to be hosted on GitHub, the place where you can store. So this is the repo where I store all my information, all the code information, and it can be shared with the world. And these kinds of dashboards and the charts are used as a portfolio to get into data analysis, business analytics, etc. And it created this in less than 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes. It actually pulled it out in no time. So this is the e-commerce dashboard, and when I initially rendered it, it actually gave me this gibberish. But then I told that to Windsurf that see, I'm getting this way, and you know what? It actually gave me an option to use an open source API which can render charts on GitHub, and this is what you're seeing right now. So going back to the presentation, what this means to two main players currently. So there are two major players this is going to impact. It's going to impact the business leader, the non-tech executives especially. Think about it, deeply think about it. And second is going to be the junior developers and the tech executives. So I'm going to dive into what the business leaders should do. I believe in sharing things that can help you to move forward, and I believe that you need to make the missions work. And I have shown you a simple example where the mission had worked with the help of AI, and it had created a lot of things, right? The major assumption that people have is the applications that you are surrounded with are very complex. The first point I wanted to break, if you're a business leader or a non-tech executive, is that everything is a text file. Everything is a file, in fact. Even the AI model is a simple file. These files actually contain numbers, and when you see the file, it is in the format of text. This is how you need to see everything around you from now on. Excel sheets, documents, that is your MS Word documents, websites, everything are just simple text formats. There are various ways you can actually go back and get the raw text formats, even the databases. So let's move forward. Second, the computer programs and AI are very good at reading text and formatting it in the way you want. The question that you need to ask is, okay, what is the way I want the text to be formatted? You need to be very specific, and you have to understand that once you know what you want, the format that you want the text in, then you can ask IDEs like Windsurf to make it for you. Fine. Knowing how to use open source for daily activities will be key to your success. What is the background of this point? I just now showed you one dashboard which is actually hosted on the GitHub. I just clicked the link and it opened up, and I'm showing it to you. And all these charts, everything was rendered using open source programs. These programs, the background of these programs, you have to become comfortable with. I'm not saying that you need to master them. You need to know that these programs exist. So assume that I wanted to create this presentation and I wanted to show what Windsurf can do for business leaders. And then I went ahead. I knew about all these tools. I had been researching about these tools for last 2 years because I knew that this is going to happen. So I had been researching, and then the time had come when I can actually do this and I can show it to you. The same way, you need to also start researching for your own success. I'll be able to help you out. You can reach me out and I can share you various tips and directions. I'll be also doing that in a couple of videos going forward. So stay tuned for that. No need to wait for your junior to provide that report. You actually don't need to wait. You can actually create it by yourself. This is not going to be sounding, very polite, but this is the reality. There are lots of challenges that the leaders face and the non-tech executives face. I sympathize and I also empathize with them. The challenge here is that the machines have to work, right? Not your junior. In fact, your junior is going to use these tools to make the report and give it to you. So why are you waiting for your junior to give that report? You might have a lot of work. I agree to that. You need to think about prioritizing automation, prioritizing making the machines work, and prioritizing getting the things done, right? But not waiting. And final and most important point, everything is in a database. So get your IT to provide the access to the database and start working with it. Why am I asking you to start working with the databases? Database is far more powerful than your Excel sheets, than your documents, than your the text files or whatever format you're using. The data is in the database. You need to get access to it. You can actually start making your own reports, making your own outputs once you connect the database to the Windsurf. There are ways to do this. I'll be discussing these things in the future videos, but this is very, very important. You need to have the database connection, the password and rest of the things with you. The faster you have this, the better you will be able to make your own reports, make your own analysis, data analysis by yourself, and come up with new insights. Maybe you had some idea, maybe you wanted to do some data wrangling and get a new report, and you are waiting for it for 2 days. You don't need to anymore. Whatever ideas you have got, just place it, give it to Windsurf IDE, and Windsurf IDE is for, in fact, it's available for everybody. It's given for free for a period of time. The point here that I wanted to say is that it is free for individuals. If you're going to use it for big organizations, they charge a nominal amount. My intention here is to show the capabilities of the IDE. My intention is to make you understand that the things have changed a lot, and we need to start working on things in a different way. And Windsurf IDE is one of the tools that you can use. Let's go back. So this is the tool that I was talking about, and this doesn't look much, right? This looks pretty simple text. I mean, notepad. It looks like a notepad, but it actually has a lot of things going on behind it. And it is able to do all these things because it is simple text. So the power of strings, the power of text is in fact very, very large. Fine, let us go back and so what you can do. So you can hire a tech consultant to help where the IDEs struggle. So this is something that you can always do. You can have your own tech consultant whom you can actually fall back if the AI is not giving what you want, and the tech consultant who is completely understands how the AI, how the IDEs, how the text works, or how the open source tools works, will be able to help you. This is how you can survive. Or in fact, that's how it's going to happen. Okay, now this is going to be the part for junior developers, or in fact, junior to mid-senior level developers who are primarily depending on getting the code committed to the repositories that I showed a couple of minutes back. I don't need to discuss with you guys about the GitHub repositories. You guys must be knowing this by now. You also might be knowing about the open source tools, but I still insist that remember, string manipulation is the key aspect of everything in computer science, correct? So again, Excel sheets, documents, websites, we all know this, right? It's all simply text. You need to know how to access this and manipulate it in a very fast fashion. Why I am telling this in a very fast, meaning you need to be using AI to do it at a very high speed. And you need to know how to use the machine, how to use your terminal. So I will come to that. So now how to use the open source tools. So there are open source tools for everything out there. So whether it is going to be for data analysis, whether it is going to be for data science, whether it is going to be for your simple database creation, you all know that. Every language, every platform, every framework has a kind of a support it can provide. Learn to use Linux terminal and variety of open source tools. Getting your hands on the Linux terminal and being able to write your own scripts using Windsurf IDE, it's fine. You can still use the AI, but you still need to get around the Linux terminal. You should be still able to be comfortable to understand what's going on when the AI is telling you to do something. You have to go one level deeper, or in fact 2-3 level deeper also. So get comfortable with the terminal, get comfortable with what exactly happens when you are working with various configuration files of different servers. There is no more barrier for us. You are no more a tester, you are no more a developer, you are no more going to be a simple architect. You are no more a simple code monkey. I don't know whether you guys like to be called that way, but in fact, there will be no more code monkeys or junior developers or developers, because everything, whatever I have seen with Windsurf, it can develop even the recent technology that had come in recent 1 or 2 years past, like WebAssembly. It was able to develop and it was able to guide me in a very smooth fashion. Yes, there were hiccups, but you need to know how the system works. Practice on problem solving, at least with 2 to 3 different languages. It's not going to be sufficient to learn one language. It can be preferably Python, Rust, Go, or Java, because these languages have a far-reaching implications on the systems that are run in the world today. C, C++, which is used extensively in the hardware and also in very sensitive and service-oriented systems. It will require a lot of experience to work with such kind of systems. But nowadays, such kind of systems has been completely abstracted, and there are frameworks like Python, Rust, Go, Java frameworks that has been written on top of those systems, so where we can easily access them and work with them. It's your responsibility to learn these languages, because you have to learn the languages only to read the code that Windsurf provides you, or any of the IDEs provide you. You don't really need to actually write. Yeah, when you're learning the language, you will have to write a lot of code. That is how you get to know what the code is going to do. You cannot read and learn about a language. You have to type the heck out of it. Okay. You are free to teach your knowledge to non-tech executives. Yeah, please be free and share your knowledge with the executives. They have to know that. If they are in a hurry, simply show them the IDE and show them how to use it and let them do it. It is time that they take their responsibilities and we take our responsibilities. You have better things to do with your technology and the knowledge. And what are you going to do? Get a GPU machine, make it as your workhorse, ensure that you know the things around LLM models, the large language models, the AI models, the frameworks around it, the IDEs around it, research about it, learn about it, try to become really comfortable with it, and get the missions to work for you. Let me zoom out. By now, you might be wondering, so you are telling me that there's going to be a huge change, and this is how it's going to happen. But I have not shown anything as an evidence, right? Except this simple dashboard that you are seeing here, correct? It doesn't make much of a difference. But this is just one of the applications that I have tried. So if you go back in this link, you can see that there are lots of demo code that I had pushed in last 15 to last week. All this code was typed from Windsurf, and I had been pushing it every day from last week. So you can take a look at my comments. There has been 25 comments. Okay, and you can look at the frequencies. I'll be discussing about these in the next video, so stay tuned for that, where I will discuss the various applications that I have tried. But before that, I will actually move further into these points that I worked with Windsurf. It was an eye-opening experience. Right. So I believe that this video will be kind of a call to action for both the senior level, the business leaders, as well as the junior level and the non-tech executives. Okay. Now, what about the mid-senior levels? You are doing a great job. You are already learning a lot of stuff because you are in the mid-senior level, and your role is to understand all these things inside out. So I believe that from your level, all you need to do is continue learning. But both the junior level as well as the senior level, they are in a very different, they are from a very different generations, and they have to be shown the direction. Yep, sometimes we have to show the direction to the senior level as well as the junior levels. I believe that this video is helpful, and you guys can give me your feedback and your comments. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to comment it out to me. With that said, I would like to take the leave and try to get your hands on Windsurf and try to practice. See you guys. Have a great time.